Welcome to all our participants in our NRI Press Club's hot topic today. Our hot topic is stunning collapse of the US-backed Afghan government. Taliban managed to take over Afghan in 10 days. What went wrong? And stunning collapse mean for US, India, and Pakistan. America's longest war draws to an end after a collapse. Let me start that. Peshwara Singh ji, go ahead, please.
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਤੇ ਐਨਆਰਆਈ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਕਲੱਬ ਦੇ तमाम ਸਰੋਤਾ ਜਨੋ ਦਰਸ਼ਕੋ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਨਿੱਘੀ ਜੀ ਐਂਡ ਗ੍ਰੀਟਿੰਗਸ ਫਰਮ ਸਨੀ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ। ਇੱਕ ਪਾਸੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਵਰਗੀਆਂ ਮਹਾਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਕੁਦਰਤੀ ਵਰਤਾਰਾ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਹਿਜੇ ਹੀ ਪੱਲਾ ਝਾੜ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਦੂਜੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਦੀਆਂ ਆਪ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਫਤਾਵਾਂ ਹਨ ਜੋ ਸਿਰ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਬੋਲਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੁਨਕਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ। ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਮ ਲੁਕਾਈ ਤੇ ਵਾਪਰਿਆ ਦੁਖਾਂਤ ਉਹਦੀਆਂ ਮੂੰਹ ਬੋਲਦੀਆਂ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ। ਇਹਦੀ ਤਫਸੀਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਮੁੱਦਾ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਦੋ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਹੋਰ ਕਹਿਣੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਾਂ। ਕੋਹਿਨੂਰ ਹੀਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਅਨੋਖੀ ਚਮਕ ਤੇ ਖੂਬਸੂਰਤੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਕੀਮਤੀ ਹੀਰਾ ਹੋਣ ਦਾ ਵਾਰਸ ਸੀ, ਉਹਦੀ ਇਹੀ ਸਿਫਤ ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਸਰਾਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣ ਗਈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਹੋਰਨਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੇ ਤਖਤਾਂ ਤਾਜਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਰਨ ਦੀ ਹੋੜ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਖੂਨ ਖਰਾਬਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ, ਰਾਜ ਬਦਲਦੇ ਰਹੇ, ਤਖਤੋ ਤਾਜ ਬਦਲਦੇ ਰਹੇ, ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਹੈ। ਅਖੀਰ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ ਹਕੂਮਤ ਬਾਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀਰੇ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਸਰਾਪ ਲਈ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਕੋਹਿਨੂਰ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਰਾਣੀ ਦੇ ਤਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੜ ਲਿਆ, ਪਰ ਉਸ ਕੋਹਿਨੂਰ ਦਾ ਸਰਾਪ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਾਜ ਭਾਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਡੁੱਬਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸੂਰਜ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ। ਐਨ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ। ਉਹਦੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੇਜਿਕ ਭੂਗੋਲਿਕ ਪੋਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਨੈਚੁਰਲ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਹਥਿਆਉਣ ਲਈ ਦੌੜ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਇਹ ਪਰਫੈਕਟ ਪੈਰਲਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਕੋਹਿਨੂਰ ਦੀ ਮਿਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਰਥੀ ਹਿੱਤ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤਾਕਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਲੋੜੀਂਦਾ ਸਬਕ ਲੈ ਹੀ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਉਧਰ ਰਣਨੀਤਿਕ ਮਾਹਿਰਾਂ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਦੇਸ਼ ਉਹ ਨੁਕਰਲੀ ਇੱਟ ਸਮਝੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਖਿਸਕ ਜਾਣ ਨਾਲ ਗੁਆਂਢੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਹਿਲ ਤਿੜਕ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਨ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲੱਗਦੇ ਗੁਆਂਢੀ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ, ਈਰਾਨ, ਚੀਨ ਤੇ ਚਲੋ ਥੋੜਾ ਵਾਲ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਭਾਰਤ ਅਤੇ ਰੂਸ ਦੀ ਅੱਖ ਤਾਂ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਤੇ ਰਹਿਣੀ ਸੀ, ਪਰੰਤੂ ਇਸ ਇੱਟ ਦੇ ਖਿਸਕ ਜਾਣ ਨਾਲ ਠੀਕ ਜਾਂ ਗਲਤ ਦੂਰ ਦਰੇਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ਕਤੀਸ਼ਾਲੀ ਦੇਸ਼ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਕੰਧਾਂ ਹਿੱਲ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਖਦਸ਼ਾ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਮੀਲ ਦੂਰ ਇਸ ਬਲਦੀ ਅੱਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਫੌਜਾਂ ਭੇਜ ਕੇ 20 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਲੰਮਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਖੂਨ ਬਹਾਇਆ, ਹਜ਼ਾਰਾਂ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਫੌਜੀ ਮਰਵਾਏ, 20,000 ਜ਼ਖਮੀ ਹੋ ਗਏ, ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਸ਼ਹਿਰੀਆਂ ਦੇ 3 ਟ੍ਰਿਲੀਅਨ ਟੈਕਸ ਡਾਲਰ ਖਰਚ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ, ਜਾਨ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਦਿਲ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਤ ਸਕੇ ਤੇ ਆਖਰ 20 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਵੀਅਤਨਾਮ ਵਾਂਗ ਹੀ ਭਖਦੀ ਅੱਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਵਾਪਸ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। 10 ਦਿਨ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਹੀ ਤਾਲਿਬਾਨ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਾਬਲ ਤੇ ਕਬਜ਼ਾ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਪੂਰੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਤੇ ਕਾਬਜ਼ ਹੋਣਾ ਅਜੇ ਦੂਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਕੁਝ ਮਾਹਿਰਾਂ ਅਨੁਸਾਰ ਅੱਜ ਵਾਲੀ ਤਾਲਿਬਾਨ ਨੰਬਰ 2 ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਲੀ ਤਾਲਿਬਾਨ ਨੰਬਰ 1 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਦੱਸੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਮੁੱਢਲੇ ਐਲਾਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਜਨਰਲ ਐਮਨੈਸਟੀ ਤੇ ਹਿਊਮਨ ਰਾਈਟਸ, ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਔਰਤਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਬਰਾਬਰੀ ਦੀ ਅਪੀਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਸੰਯੁਕਤ ਭਾਈਚਾਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਜਿੱਤਣਾ ਅਜੇ ਦੂਰ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ। ਕੋਈ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਪਰ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਆਉਣ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਅਫਗਾਨਿਸਤਾਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਮ ਜਨਤਾ ਦੇ ਮਾਰੇ ਜਾਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਹਾਲਾਤ ਉਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਹਨ ਜਿਵੇਂ 1947 ਦੇ ਬਟਵਾਰੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਫੌਜ ਦੇ ਉਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਣ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਬਰੇ ਸਗੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣੇ ਸਨ, ਜੋ ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਦੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਤੇ ਕਾਲਾ ਧੱਬਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਜ਼ਖਮ ਪੌਣੀ ਸਦੀ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਵੀ ਅੱਲੇ ਦੇ ਅੱਲੇ ਹਨ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਦੀ ਤਫਸੀਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਪੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਬਸ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
ਓਕੇ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਪਸ਼ੌਰਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ। ਅਰੁਣ ਬਹਮਿੱਤਰਾ ਜੀ। Arun?
Go ahead. Okay. Guys, I'm going to bring a different angle. First of all, life goes on, but I want to wish everybody a happy Rakhi. If any of you had sisters, they were kind enough to put a little band around your hands. And Afghanistan, that's the hot topic today. Let's go into a geography. Afghanistan is a landlocked country at the crossroads of Central and South Asia. It is bordered by Pakistan on the east and south, Iran to the west, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Tajikistan to the north, and China to the northeast. It has a population of roughly about the same, about 38 million as California. So what happened? First of all, why is America in Afghanistan? I know we should ask, Peshwaraji mentioned about all the loss of life, $2 trillion being spent over there, $20 billion of military hardware, which could be used against Americans. Why did it all happen? What went wrong? So what I'm going to kind of let you guys answer is on this, is why was America in Afghanistan? And what is going on? Could have been avoided what happened over there? And what do you think will be an end game? I think I should like to pass it down to each of you. And perhaps, because we know from geography what I just spoke about, where it is basically the psychology, the history of the people, which will tell you what the future is going to be. Alexander the Great in 327 BC came down and figured this is not the place for me. He went down over to India. And similarly, the British went down, the Soviets went down. What happened to the to the US intelligence and all that information they had? What went so wrong? So I'm going to pass it down to Baljinder ji. Why was America in? What could have been avoided? The blame game which is going to go on. And what do you think will be the end game?
Well, thank you. The reason in the first place the US decided to go to Afghanistan is after the 9/11, they had to do something. Politically, in the country, it was becoming so much, they were coming under pressure that we need to do something. So, why did they do to us, the 9/11? So they went after Iraq, and then they found out that, Al-Qaeda is in Afghanistan, and then they went to Afghanistan. But that's basically the reason at that time, Bush has come up with a philosophy. It's called preemptive strike. That was Bush's words, preemptive strike. He said, before the enemy come to the US, we need to strike it over there. So under this philosophy called preemptive strike, US decided to go punish them in their countries. So that's how it started. Well, if you want anything a little bit more, I tell you that both cases, UN did not approve, Security Council did not approve the motion for America to go to Iraq. In spite of that denial of that motion, America went unilaterally to Iraq. And the basis they went on was totally fabricated. These were totally lies. There was no program. And in fact, Scott Ritter, if you remember the atomic energy inspector, he was very famous. His name was Scott Ritter. He went to Iraq. He checked some of the places, and he came back to US and he said they don't have anything to do, any of the nuclear equipment. In spite of that, they demoted him. He left his job, and then they forced their way into Iraq. On the other side, Al-Qaeda and Saddam, they were actually enemies of each other. Saddam never liked Al-Qaeda, and he could not get along with Bin Laden. They were against each other. So in spite of that, both situations were in front, and the world was saying, no, you shouldn't go. Even remember when France voted against US in the Security Council, and all the oldies sitting in the Senator, in Senate cafeteria, they have French fries. At that time, when when the French voted against, they banned the French fries from their cafeteria. They stopped cafeteria just imagine how low they went. So these are all original mistakes. I will call it US mistakes, why they ended up into this quagmire. Thank you.
Well, but thank you very much, I think, for that very detailed answer. I got to compliment you. You got a great memory, man. You don't need to worry about anything like Mr. Sandhu and I have to worry about remembering our memories. Let me just clear away. So this all started, basically, we were looking to see what would cause the 9/11. So I think that's what basically it is. But it so happened, Osama bin Laden was not in Afghanistan. He was not in Iraq. They found him in Pakistan.
Who is a friend of America?
So how can the US forces went so, wrong, off the mark? Vinodji, do you want to say something about that?
Yes. I welcome the developments in Afghanistan. Two things happening. We don't prejudge a person what he was 20 years back. One phenomena is that let Afghan people decide what they want. Second is the burden of American people. In Afghanistan, 6,000 American soldiers died, 100,000 Afghans died. America did spend $2 trillion in 20-year period. So two things set. One, American economy, other the Afghanistan people to decide. So basically what is happening? It was a fallout of 9/11. The Iraq invasion, the Afghanistan invasion, it was a fallout. I remember General Powell, who was a Secretary of State in Bush, when they were presenting their report as Bajinderji said in United Nations, they said Saddam Hussein has a weapon of mass destruction, which he never had. Earlier, when there was Iraq-Iran war, America was a friend of Saddam Hussein. They supplied maximum arms to Saddam Hussein. I met Tariq Aziz, who was a Christian in the Saddam government in Chandigarh. He came before Iraq attack. And we were asking so many questions, but later on when we have a tea, I told him what is going to happen. They say all army generals have been purchased by America by paying dollars. And we are going to be attacked. And Saddam will be caught. They will have their own judges, and later on he'll be hanged. You see, Saddam Hussein was such a great person, such a good person.
Let me little bit go Afghanistan, please.
Gary, you cannot absolutely dealing.
But we have a short time, 30-40 minutes. We have to finish this one.
Now.
If we continue that one, we need 3
Okay,
hours.
Vinodji, go ahead. Finish your sentence.
Finish that one.
Yes, right.
Finish that one. Finish.
The final point is that we should read the history of Afghanistan. I was looking 5,000 years of what is Afghanistan is. Number one, Afghan people are very simple. Very simple. But they are fighters. They are fighters. Number two, Afghanistan society today is 20%, 5% urban and 75% rural. The Taliban is from rural areas. Urban areas still not under the influence of Taliban. So second point is, I welcome Trump, who said we will come out of Afghanistan. There were negotiations going on with this Taliban, and the president of Afghanistan, Mr. Ghani, did not know it. And therefore, today there is a news that the brother of the president has joined Taliban. Second point is the Taliban we are getting good news that they are forming a coalition government with Hamza Karzai, who was a foreign minister. So it is a welcome step. We should welcome it, and we are saved from further devastation in U.S. economy. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vinodji. Ashokji, what is going on in Afghanistan? We had 2,500 soldiers, which we needed to bring out of that. Do you think all this mess could have been avoided? What's going on in Afghanistan?
Well, my opinion is, first of all, I think Dick Cheney has something to do all this to me, in my opinion. Dick Cheney probably ran the country. He was the one gave advice to go to Iraq. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I think is this was supposed to happen. I think, I mean, you couldn't delay it anymore. I don't think it could be, I mean, it just linger on this war for so long. You could have done that 5-10 years back. Somebody had to do it. I'm sure Biden get a little blame for this, but I think, in my opinion, this was need to be done. It, like you said, the positive stuff is we spent enough money and we have lost enough people. I mean, a little turmoil, but it'll get better. But I
Well,
think, in my opinion, Vice President Dick Cheney had a lot of planning all this, whatever reason he did it. We all know it. Bush really didn't have any capacity to that extent, but I think Dick Cheney probably took over and he made all the decision, in my opinion.
You're right.
What they're saying is the president said that it's costing the US $150 to $300 million a day to be there. I don't know. They're 2,500 soldiers. I don't know if they can call that much. Samraji, what is your opinion on that? Would this have been avoided? Would that, if you were the president, do you think it would be handled in a different way?
Yeah, I'm just, we have heard everything about the history, but at this point, I'm just concerned about the way they left Afghanistan, same way like the British left India when it was divided. People were dying everywhere, but while their administration was there, while their security forces were there, they should have made India's division very smooth. But they did that then. But America is doing the same way now. Now we are almost about 75 years later, and intelligence have gone so high. As far as I have been hearing from everybody, to me, America's intelligence, either it's not effective, it does not work, or the leaders don't listen it, they don't follow it. The thing is at this point right now, the way you see everything wild over there, if they were about to leave, they should have left it respectfully by not leaving a bitter taste over there. So people, when you see the airports like a jungle over there, America have a lot of managing ability to organize the things. They should have done it, everything, like before they leave, they should have a little bit plan long before. At least they should have made them safe. At least they should have done, whoever need to get out, they should have provided a atmosphere for that. And that matter, they have totally failed, you know? So if we go in the history of Afghanistan, it's like this, and our Punjabi, they say, Kodi de pande jo kheer tusi la nahi sakde na.
I'm going to remember that.
Afghanistan is like that. Whoever gets from there something, it does not suit to them. We have seen our Indian history, how much mess they have done over there. You see, only then when Maharaja Ranjit Singh come and block that Dara Khyber, after that, the Indian political thing and Indian politics have changed. Otherwise, before that, there was no existence of Indian politics. Because whenever they come after 10, 15 years, they flood everything. You know, after that, we come into existence of our geographical things. But right now, we are lucky. We think that that regime was so strong. And then the British came. The British, they wiped out the Sikh regime. But by that time, the Afghans were put in place. So then after that, anyone goes over there. And we have been lucky that after that, they did not dare to come to Indian borders. But whoever goes over there and their territory, they have been making a mess, and then they got defeated and they get out. And America is one of them too.
Thank you.
You know.
We're very true, very true. I think the Americans should have learned from their walking out in Saigon in 1975, similar situation. I think people should run history. One of the unfortunate things which has happened, I guess, you know, from Taliban is Maharaja Ranjit Singh's statue was defaced recently in Kabul. I think that really hurt the nerves. They were totally not secular. And something better should happen to the Afghan people. With that in mind, what do you think will be the end game, Mr. Sandhu, Joe Sandhu?
where God knows what the end is going to be, but thing is there are some mistakes made by US. That's where they ignited this fire. After 9/11 attack by Al-Qaeda, that was the worst enemy of US. So ruthless, and they created all this problem. Then this Taliban group came in Afghanistan. They tried to be a solely Muslim country. They kicked out Sikhs, they kicked out Hindus, they kicked out Christians, and now everybody is afraid to stay in Afghanistan. They're trying to, get away one way or the other. I think Americans are still stuck in between. They are trying to move these Afghan people, civilians, away from two different countries. India taking some, Afghanis, China taking some Afghanis, and other countries are taking Afghanis. And also, I think Biden allowed limited visa to Afghanis. I think they're going to come back down here. They're going to change as a Taliban as well. The reason why those Taliban had a history of fighting over the 20 years. They were calm when US forces were there, but now Biden made a big mistake not to pull out the troops as America agreed. On May 8th, they will pull out all their troops. Biden extended their limit. I think that's where mistake came in. That mistake grew up bigger and bigger. They found a spot that they can take over the country now, because there were only 5,200 Americans are in Afghanistan at this time. But what happened now, they are looking for safety of Americans. They are sending more troops to protect them. And the Taliban, getting mad because Biden extended their limit to August 31st. That's where a clash came in to the movement of Afghanistan. Now the civilians are hurting, they're being killed, and they are being transported. They don't want to stay there. And Al-Qaeda, I think, already have taken over the country. Taliban have taken over the country. I don't think they're going to let it go now. USA cannot send more troops to protect them. They have lost so much.
That's very true. Americans don't have the appetite to get more involved. I think the public opinion is very much against that. And what I see in my crystal ball is that people in the north are fighting back again, people from Tajikistan. And so they could be, and Taliban are going door to door, trying to people who are working with the government forces, special forces who worked out, and there could be some kind of a civil war. So the question is, the Chinese and some of the other countries, Russia, are looking into, because of the minerals, because of emerging technologies, semiconductor build-up, lithium. There's a big supply of lithium, magnesium, all those rare metals out there. So I feel that there is a void is going to be. The Chinese embassy is open, the French, the Russian are still open. I think they will go down and supplant the US. What do you guys think about it? If anybody wants to jump in.
I would like to say that economy was always a component, always, when there was a war. Whenever there was a war, whether it is a sale of arms or the minerals or mines or oil. It was always featured. If you see 5,000 years history, the economy is a basic component. So therefore, I was looking at what is the GDP of Afghanistan, $24 billion. Their age, which was 30 years back, 52, 53, now their age is coming up to 5. They are urbanizing. Second important point is that the 50 countries are going to recognize them. Even sometimes USA should do that. Because you cannot close, when Hitler came, the Russia and America and Germany joined together. Taliban is not a big force. They are basically students. They mobilize their country to give the direction. I think the Taliban is not what they were 20 years back. So let us give them a space. Let us give them a chance. So I think the Russia and China will play a very important role in their economic development. Though it is interest of China also to get the minerals. Every country has their own interest. So like USA went to China to have cheap products, China grows, the upward movement of China. So it is complementary to each other. So this is my one issue.
Now, people talk about the Pakistan Taliban getting involved and supporting them. Does anybody, Manjinder, do you have an opinion on that?
About what?
About the Pakistan Taliban? They are kind of involved and they're supporting the Taliban in their mission.
No.
I mean, that's why they got the support.
You know,
I think
Pakistan,
Pakistan is controlled by China now. Isn't it? Pakistan really controlled by China pretty much now, isn't
there is
it?
a conflict between Taliban and China. Pakistan. There is a big conflict on them because all these are in that there are Sunnis 80% in the Afghanistan. So there is going to be conflict. They don't want the Taliban will not be under control of Pakistan. I can show it is India which is telling. It is a picture in India, all TV channels which are saying Taliban. So it is going India is going the way that Modi gave a statement day before yesterday. That is unfortunate. You have neighbors. You will have a trade. How your economy will grow? You have to welcome a new government. Let us have a good relation with Taliban, Pakistan. You say you cannot deadlock.
let me say something.
Okay, Gary, go ahead.
Yeah, you have to remember, Afghanistan has two communities. One are Pashtuns and one are Tajiks.
Yeah.
And Tajiks are Shia Muslims and Pashtuns are Sunni Muslims. They always,
Yes.
Abdullah is a Shia and Karzai is a Sunni. So after Taliban settles, there's going to be a joint government between the regular Afghan people and Taliban, because Taliban never had administration in any country. They have no experience of running the hospitals or any civic bodies. So they need the help of Afghani people, the old leaders. So they will be joining together. And also Taliban has no money. Money is all locked up in Emirates, all the Afghan money. So they cannot pay salaries. So next week, G7 is getting together, all the G7 countries. They're going to decide how we're going to release the money for Taliban. So it's going to be quite a bit of development until they form a government. It will probably be a joint government between the original Afghanis and Taliban. And
Abdullah.
also remember, Taliban, Afghanistan has 60% people of age 20 or younger. So there are a lot of young people there and they all use social media. So Taliban is no longer the old person sitting in the mountains. They are familiar with the modern technology and everything. So this is the situation going to evolve. We don't know exactly what's going to happen.
I think you guys can do a great job in the State Department.
Pashtuns are 42% and Tajik are 27%.
Go ahead, Gary.
Okay. When we are talking about Taliban, I don't think they are able to do anything next couple of years because they are very poor. We have one of the most difficult airlift in history right now. They should do better job, I think. It was not done. This is very unfortunate. Now, when we are talking about India or Pakistan, definitely it will be continue to mess. Right now, India try to get a benefit to be in next election. Right now, we have a problem of US credibility. US is losing a reputation right now. The decision we made it is very sharp we did it. We should do couple of months, 3 months with the big military there. We can be take our citizens. That's slowly we should do that. We are very powerful, but we lose our reputation right now. Thank you. Go ahead. Arunji.
Anji.
Arun.
Yeah, go ahead. George, you want to say something, Mr. Sandhu?
I do want to say something. I was thinking, U.S. military have trained 300,000 people in Afghanistan, and they fell into the arms of Taliban. Now, those are the part of Taliban. They are not a part of U.S. They are not part of any,
Yeah.
That's the only way they can stay there. They know they have the protection, and they're going to do whatever they want to do in that country. Besides that, after 20 years of building, Afghanistan by United States, what they end up with was they lost 2,400 American lives, and spend more than $2-3 trillion on the war, and 5,200 military troops are still in Kabul, and 800,000 US members served Afghanistan. That we pay is not counted by the US, but those are money they spent on Afghanistan. That's the only thing they count, 2.4 million. No, 2.4 trillion. But I think the lives were lost. Like Afghanistan, 6,600 military and police people got killed. And 47,000 civilians got killed during this 20 hours process. And 1,100 allied members from NATO members, and altogether approximately 1 million people got killed. Okay. That was a very tragic situation for Afghanistan. I don't think they're going to allow anybody to come in other than Taliban. They are prepared with their military, and even though they don't have money, they have people, countries like Saudi Arabia and all those Middle Eastern countries going to help them. They will be in good shape. They don't need money there.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Joe Sandhu, I think you're very right. Blood is thicker than water. Taliban has been greeted in some of the villages with open arms. And if you notice, none of the Afghan soldiers fought. They had a clear war. So this war was totally misunderstood by the US forces, I think, to that. They were looking for Osama bin Laden. That's how they ended. But for some reason, through 4 US presidents, this war kept on going. They got into nation building. Now, like Putin said, you cannot tell a country, the people, how to live. They've been living for generations, and certain customs they have. They want to live with that. Ashokji, do you want to jump in about that and tell us a little bit about what do you think about the culture and why Taliban was so successful to get in?
Well, I think one point I want to make, what I heard recently from different people, Taliban had a lot of their own factions. And Vinodji mentioned something, they may not be the same Taliban 20 years back. They might change to some extent. So I think first they have to solve their own factions to govern. They have no experience of governing the country. That's the only thing missing. But like other person said already, I mean, they have military, they have money, but I think they have to learn how to govern. First, they have their own factions. They have to dissolve. They have to bring people together. So that's my opinion.
Samraji, same question.
Anji, see, what first of all, whatever say to understand better for Taliban, we should change its name little bit to English. We can say that Muslim Student Federation.
Yes.
Students
Okay.
students are always young. Because we have in India and Punjab, we have Punjab Student Union and Hindus, other universities, they have their own. So the way they say there's factions of the students, that is very much possible because in every area, this is kind of student union. They got together, but there will be factions of it. They can work it out. They don't know, they don't have the working experience, but they are revolutionaries. Those who can change the government, whoever it is, they can change even their own Afghan government. They can kick American out. They can get Russia out because they're all young and they have enthusiasm. They have emotional things. They cannot run probably the country, but they will learn it. Students can learn anything.
Yes.
On the other hand, I will say that the Americans should have learned. Modi did one thing very good when they did the Article 370. Before they announced over there to delete that, they sent a lot of military over there to put people in place. Over here, American government, instead of pulling the troops out for a while, they should have pumped a lot more in there. Make everything safer, take your people out, and military comes out at the end, not before that. They have made a very childish mistake, you know. They should have a lot of, they should have pumped a lot of military over there. Let the people from the foreign, they go out. All the Americans there, they get out. The military can defend themselves. They can leave at the end, not before. That's the biggest mistake. On the other hand, I was listening about the minerals and stuff in Afghanistan. If you guys see from the history, who knows Afghanis better than Punjabis and Indians? The economy of the Afghanistan is kind of very virgin because these people, they never thought about their country. They always go out somewhere else to loot the food and everything and all the gold and whatever they could get from the outside. They take over there. They don't know what is in their country. You know?
Good.
So
Good.
anybody else, like now, anybody can go there. Because that's what the way I say virgin means nobody touches their natural resources. Now,
Yeah.
whoever they have.
I think
whoever-
they now know. I think
Huh?
they now know what they have.
No, they still don't know. Only China,
I
only
think they
China,
don't know.
Russia.
I think what they're fighting for is for exactly for that, what they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, but somebody has to
That's
invest
what
a lot
other
of money.
people, actually, the other people will tell, they don't have that now. Now, the other people, the other countries will tell them what they have, then they will fight on it. And good thing is that the student federation, Taliban, they will learn about it because they're students. At least they have the ability to learn. So things will change in coming time. Hopefully, these students are intelligent and they are brain of the country. At least they manage their own matters.
That's a very good point. Thank you. Bashara Jingji,
Huh, good.
what do you think about China and Russia investing in Afghanistan? They got $2 trillion worth of reserves in rare materials. What do you think? They will fill the void?
Let me begin by saying, Arunji, that apart from bringing their own people home and their supporters back in America, the chapter for America Go It Alone has closed. And the only way out, as you said, what is the end game, if you can call it a game, is that the Americans and everybody else, their neighbors, if they are really interested in peace and not in their minerals and what they have, and not to want to exploit their ignorance or their helplessness that they are backward and they don't have armaments and all that kind of thing. If they are really sincere and want a peace in the neighborhood, then they should all work very closely with the extended Troika and should really help those people. Because if you leave them on their own after dividing them so bitterly, like the British did leave in 1947 in dividing India so bitterly and then suddenly leaving them, this is exactly what has happened. If these people, the extended Troika and the United Nations together do not really go in there and do their work seriously, there will be a lot of bloodshed. It will be because, all those people, although they have said given amnesty, but they will never forget those people who, along all these 20 years, have supported the American government and this, what they call the proxy government, which you call the Islamic State. So, the end game would be that if these people are interested in peace and quiet and not only resources and the strategic and exploit the strategic position of Afghanistan, then they should all work together and help those people. And those people have got the resources. They can pay them as consultants, not as their army generals who can go there, maraud and kill their people and want to own their sources. And who can, like any other sensible client, a country, they can hire experts and they can pay them and they can advise them how to best utilize those resources. And that is the right way to help them and help themselves.
You have a good solution, Peshawar Singh Ji. Baljinder, you want to have the last word on the situation now, and hopefully in the next 90 days, everything will come to an end?
90 days, 20.
No, it will drag out actually until they come to agreement between their own factions. It will drag out, and then other countries will help them. So people want that they should have a stable setup there. So it's good for everybody's business, everybody's situation. So I think most of the time it's not going to be settled soon, and we don't know how it's going to settle finally.
Go ahead, Gary Ji.
Yeah.
It looks like it maybe take 1 year more. We will find out how the Taliban is changing like a direction. Maybe they are talk about old ways 20 years ago, or maybe new way they want peace possible. If they still continue terrorism, or maybe play the old game, religious game, then will be the biggest problem. Continue that, never be stop that one there. We will see that how will it happen. And it is not a hand of US or India or Pakistan or China, anybody's. It is in their hand. The whole game is in their hand right now. Whatever they play in future. That's fine. Thank you.
They already visited China. They have visited China. Taliban has visited recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're in close connection. But China's everywhere. They're into Africa, Australia,
that is-
mining minerals
I
everywhere.
can tell you one thing. China never interfered in Afghanistan war
Yeah,
any time in 100 years.
smart guy.
So they will give good direction to them. I can assure, because in their Muslim regions there is a problem.
He will play the game
So
with
they want
against
to-
India. He will play the game with the India against India. You will see that.
No,
Okay.
India is playing themselves because we're talking Taliban, Ayodhya, and Somnath.
Okay, we will see that.
India is
Nobody
starting
knows.
playing here.
Well, that's true. Hey guys, moving close.
Ashok ji,
Okay,
final
Harpajan.
comment.
No, I was leaving.
I think we
would
learned
just
enough.
say
Really,
One
Go ahead.
thing, no matter what happens, now the militarily solution and that country, nobody will like to send their forces anymore.
Right.
It will be a totally different thing than people interfere from outside.
Yeah.
Probably they will interfere intellectually, not to
Right.
go and fight with them. So
Yeah.
that the world have learned that.
Is
That
it
will be a
because
biggest change.
they got $20 billion worth of US equipment over there to defend themselves?
That will waste. That will waste. Don't worry about that.
Gary Singh,
Arunji, I think even they defended themselves without that armament. They defended themselves with the bathroom slippers. They are a ragtag army, and they have defeated the world's most powerful army. As Vinodji had said, those people may be poor, may be ignorant, but they are good fighters.
Yeah.
And as many people are saying that they are ignorant about their wealth, of their resources, and their strategic position, it is not right. They are fully aware of it. That is what they are fighting for, and that is what they are fighting for tooth and nail.
Good.
Arun
Very
ji,
good.
who is the
Harpal.
best friend of
And
the
I'm
also,
sorry, go ahead.
finally, Arunji, I would say that the people should not forget the lesson about what they learned from Kohinoor. diamond.
Very true.
That anybody who tries to wear it has had it there at their own peril, and their kingdoms have gone. And if the people think that that is something like that, we can take Afghanistan and put it in our Taj. Forget it.
Why don't
Somebody
we
who-
telling land to give their Kohinoor back to them?
They
Let
don't
me-
want to take.
Thank
No,
you so
it's a
much,
cursed
very
earth.
much for this very robust conversation you had. I mean, I knew I could count upon us Indians to come up with proper solutions. We know the history, geography, and the psychology of the people. And America would have saved $2 trillion if they had listened to one of us.